click, 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 click. The Digitakt is a digital drum computer and sampler that only allows mono samples. And in the beginning, that was totally fine. You had a stereo output, stereo effects like delay and reverb. You could pan your mono samples around the stereo field and make your drum sound nice and wide. But then something happened with the release of 1.5. They introduced the concept of machines. With that came warp, repitch and slice. They also introduced recording samples based on pattern length. We can integrate with Loop Cloud and automatically transfer sounds into the Digitakt. All great improvements that are based around the recording and playback of loops. Mono loops, which sucks. Luckily for us, the process for using stereo samples on the Digitakt is both fairly simple and kind of obvious once it's been demonstrated. Unlucky for us, it does mean that for every stereo sample we want to sequence, it has to use up 2 tracks. But the sound and creative options are well worth the sacrifice, if you ask me. Just a quick side note, if you learned something from this video or for some reason you enjoy it, whatever, do feel free to, do the like and subscribe and all that doobly stuff where I'm pointing down at my crotch here. It just really helps. So if you can, that would be really nice. Thank you. For the first step, we need to split our stereo sample into 2 files, one for the left channel and one for the right channel. You can probably do this with a DAW, but my own preference is to use a simple tool called Audio Move. I'll put a link in the description if you want to download it, but basically you can separate a file simply by clicking this option and then dragging your loop into the app. You're left with 2 files that you need to transfer over into your Digitakt. The next step obviously is to load them into your pattern. I'm going to use the slice machine for this. I'm using a 16 grid. Here I've got drums 1. I'll just put some tricks down on 1, 5, 9 and 13. Extend the pattern to 64. This way I've got trigs on all 4 pages. And then I'll hit yes, create linear locks, and then function, copy this track. Go to track 2, paste this track, and I'm going to set the sample for this track to the right channel for my drums. The next thing I'll need to do is to make sure that I'm panning the 2 tracks left and right, otherwise we'll still be stuck in mono. I want to set my time to 105 BPM. And then I want to repeat that process for tracks 3 and 4, which are going to be my guitars. My guitar and drums have the same pattern length, so I'm actually just going to paste the page source, set that to guitar C1. Copy the track, paste the track, paste it for track 4. Track 3, I'll copy the page, paste the page, set it to the right channel of my guitar. And then again, we need to set the left and right for these 2 tracks. So now I have stereo drums using tracks 1 and 2, and stereo guitars using tracks 3 and 4. Just for comparison, I've got this pattern set up here with 2 tracks playing the mono samples. So let's compare the 2. Yeah. It's like night and day. Okay, and the best part of this is that we can sequence the left and right channels independently, which leads to some really creative opportunities. So for example, let's copy this pattern and paste it. And in here I can say increase the pitch, increase the length because it's going to be playing faster. Maybe for this one I'll do the same. Maybe in the right channel, I'll create some random locks, increase the sample rate reduction. Maybe I'll mess around with the drums as well. Add an extra trig. Reverse this one. Let's have a listen. can get some really interesting results. We can also play around with the LFOs individually, so let's paste the pattern again. So we're left with the default, and then say for the guitars maybe we'll set the destination to panning, depth all the way down, and on the other track set the destination to panning. Let's have a listen to that. Some really nice tremolo there. Amazing. We can pretty much do anything. You can lock parameters for the stereo channels. You can get some really wide creative results. It's very simple to do. It's kind of obvious once you see it in action, but also really powerful. That's it. That's all I've got for you today. I guess I'm gonna play you out. And I pop some bubbles. Love you guys. Bye. Take care.